retirement habits that are secretly ruining your health. What if I told you that some of your healthiest retirement habits might actually be chipping away at your well-being? For decades, you lived a life written by someone else. The alarm clock, the commute, the job. Now, in retirement, you finally hold the pen. You write your own schedule, your own rules. And in trying to build a vibrant next chapter, you've created new routines. You walk every morning. You do puzzles to keep your mind sharp. You've embraced the freedom of a life with no schedule. But there's a hidden danger lurking in these seemingly golden habits. It's a strange paradox that nobody talks about. How our best intentions can sometimes lead to our worst health outcomes. It's like carefully watering a plant, not realizing the pot is too small and the roots are slowly being strangled. The truth is, a lot of popular retirement advice is based on myths and outdated ideas, leading to a slow, subtle decline that we often just dismiss as getting older. But it's not just getting older, it's a trap. It's a trap that can increase your risk of chronic illness, cognitive decline, and a loneliness so deep it can be as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Today, we're going to expose that trap. We're pulling back the curtain on the 7 most common retirement habits that are secretly ruining your health. We won't just point out the problems. We'll give you simple, powerful swaps that can transform your physical and mental health, making sure the years ahead are not just long, but truly worth living. Habit number 1, the all-or-nothing fitness fallacy. Problem: let's start with one of the most popular retirement goals, getting fit. After years stuck behind a desk, you jump in head first. You decide you're going to walk 5 miles every single day. No excuses. You go all in, believing that more is always better. This is it, your chance to finally get in the best shape of your life. The intention is fantastic, but the approach can be a disaster waiting to happen. For the first few weeks, this feels heroic, but it's a fragile strategy. What happens when the weather is bad, or your arthritis flares up? When you have an all-or-nothing mindset, a single missed day feels like a total failure. It's like being on a super strict diet. The moment you eat one cookie, you figure the whole day is ruined, and you might as well eat the whole box. That failure leads to guilt, and before you know it, you're right back on the couch, feeling more defeated than when you started. Agitate. This cycle of going hard and then burning out is incredibly common, and it's dangerous. Pushing your body too hard, too fast, can lead to serious injuries like spinal issues or joint problems. Your body might be screaming at you with warning signs, nagging pains, bone-deep fatigue, but that all-or-nothing voice tells you to just push through. But the physical damage is only half the battle. The mental toll is just as bad. When your whole sense of being healthy is tied to a punishing routine, you turn something that should be a pleasure into a stressful chore. This mindset also ignores a simple truth. Consistency always beats intensity. An hour of intense exercise doesn't give you a free pass to sit around for the other 23 hours. This leads to the active couch potato syndrome. It's like meticulously polishing the chrome on a car that has a failing engine. It looks good on the surface, but all that sitting can cancel out the benefits of your workout, raising your risk of diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Solve. The fix is to ditch the all-or-nothing idea and instead embrace a philosophy of always something. It's a simple but powerful shift. Instead of a rigid workout schedule, you build a flexible, layered approach to movement. The foundation is moderate, enjoyable activity. The goal isn't to punish your body, but to move it consistently. The CDC recommends about 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, just over 20 minutes a day. This could be a brisk walk, a bike ride, or just dancing in your living room. The best exercise is the one you actually enjoy and will stick with. On top of that, add muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days a week. This doesn't mean becoming a bodybuilder. It can be as simple as bodyweight exercises or using resistance bands. Strong muscles are like armor for your joints and are one of the most important things you can do to prevent falls. Finally, The most important part of the always something approach is what you do on the days you really don't feel like it. This is where you replace nothing with something. Feeling tired? Go for a slow 10-minute walk. Joints aching? Do some gentle stretches in a chair. The goal is to never have a zero day. By always doing something, no matter how small, you keep the habit alive and kill that guilt and failure cycle for good. Habit number 2, the solitary hobby obsession. Problem: retirement finally gives you the time to go all in on a passion: gardening, woodworking, reading. These hobbies are great. They bring joy and a sense of accomplishment. The common wisdom is that a dedicated hobby is a key to a happy retirement. But there's a hidden risk when one hobby, especially a lonely one, becomes the single focus of your entire life. You might spend 6 hours a day with your prize-winning roses, feeling productive. But what you're really doing is building a life that is dangerously small. Your world, which used to be filled with different people and responsibilities, shrinks down to the size of your garden or your workshop. Agitate. This intense focus can sabotage your health. First, it makes your thinking rigid. Your brain is like a toolbox. If you only ever use a hammer, you get really good at using a hammer. But when you need a wrench or a screwdriver, you're stuck. Real cognitive health comes from learning new things, not just practicing the same skill over and over. Second, it can be a fast track to social isolation. Even if you don't feel lonely, the simple lack of social contact can be devastating. Research has linked it to a 50% increased risk of dementia and a 32% increased risk of stroke. The casual social life from work disappears in retirement, and you have to actively replace it. Third, it creates a fragile sense of purpose. When your entire identity is wrapped up in one activity, what happens if you can't do it anymore? An illness or injury could suddenly take away the one thing that gets you out of bed. A life built on a single pillar is just one gust of wind away from collapsing. Solve. The answer isn't to give up your favorite hobby. It's to build what I call a portfolio of interests. A smart investor diversifies their money to protect it from risk. A smart retiree needs to diversify their life. Think about your life in 3 buckets that you need to fill each week. The first bucket is creative and skill-based. This is where your main hobby lives. Keep pouring your heart into your gardening or painting. This is your anchor. The second, and maybe most important bucket, is social and community-focused. This part is non-negotiable. You have to intentionally schedule activities that involve other people. Join a club related to your hobby, a garden club, a writer's group, or step completely out of your comfort zone and volunteer, or take a group exercise class. The third bucket is novelty and learning. This is about actively challenging your brain by being a beginner again. Sign up for a class at a community college, learn a language, study history, try to learn a musical instrument. These activities are like forging new roads in your brain, building mental resilience in a way that practicing an old skill just can't. Habit number 3, the catching up on sleep. Myth. Problem. For 40 years, you dreamed of ignoring your alarm clock. Now, in retirement, you're living that dream. You stay up late, sleep in until 10 a.m., and take long naps whenever you feel like it. You tell yourself you're catching up on decades of lost sleep. It feels like one of the best perks of retirement. This habit seems not just harmless, but healthy. But this unstructured, sleep-on-demand approach can be one of the sneakiest ways to ruin your health. It's based on a big misunderstanding of how our body's internal clocks actually work. Agitate. Your body loves rhythm. Deep in your brain, you have a master clock that controls your 24-hour circadian rhythms. Think of this clock as the conductor of a huge orchestra. Your old work schedule, as tough as it was, gave the conductor a steady beat to follow. When you throw that schedule away, it's like the conductor has lost the sheet music. The violins are playing at a different speed than the drums. The result is chaos, not harmony. This is like giving your body a permanent case of jet lag. First, your sleep quality tanks. You might spend more time in bed, but you get less of the deep, restorative sleep you need, which is why you can sleep for 10 hours and still wake up feeling foggy. Second, this habit is strongly tied to poor mental health, as a chaotic sleep schedule is a big risk factor for depression in older adults. Third, and this is the scary one, it can speed up cognitive decline. During deep sleep, your brain's cleanup crew gets to work, clearing out waste products like the proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. When your sleep is a mess, that cleaning process doesn't work right. While you think you're pampering yourself, you're actually starving your brain of what it needs to stay healthy. Solve. The solution is to get your rhythm back. This doesn't mean a 6 a.m. alarm, but it does mean creating a new, consistent sleep schedule. First, set a consistent wake-up time. This is even more important than a set bedtime. Pick a time, maybe 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m., and stick to it 7 days a week. This one thing will do more to regulate your body clock than anything else. Second, aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Create a relaxing wind-down routine for the hour before bed. Turn off bright screens and instead read a book, listen to calm music, or take a warm bath. What about naps? They have to be smart. A long 2-hour nap in the afternoon has to go. Instead, opt for a short power nap of 20 to 30 minutes in the early afternoon. That's enough to boost alertness without wrecking your nighttime sleep. Finally, get bright light first thing in the morning. Open the curtains or take a short walk outside. Sunlight is the most powerful signal for setting your body clock. It tells your brain the day has started, which helps you sleep better at night. By embracing a gentle, consistent rhythm, you give your body and brain the stability they need to truly thrive. Habit number 4, the self-sacrificing super grandparent. Problem: one of the greatest joys of retirement is having time for the grandkids. You've become the go-to babysitter, the after-school driver, the weekend fun zone. On the surface, this looks like the perfect retirement, full of love and purpose. This super grandparent role is something our culture celebrates. But behind that heartwarming picture is a hidden danger. You've completely erased your own needs from the equation. It's a habit of selfless giving that can, ironically, leave you with less of yourself to give. Agitate. This slow erosion of your well-being happens on a few fronts. First, there's the physical toll. Keeping up with kids is exhausting. More subtly, the constant demands mean your own health gets pushed to the back burner. You put off your own doctor's appointments. You skip your daily walk because you're too wiped out. You're constantly pouring water from your own cup into everyone else's without ever stopping to refill. Eventually, your cup runs dry. Second, it can actually lead to social isolation from people your own age. Your calendar is packed, but it's packed with kid stuff. You lose touch with your friends and that peer support that is so essential for your emotional health. Third, and this is the hardest one to admit, is the risk of burnout and resentment. As much as you love your grandkids, being a primary caregiver is a high-stress job. When it feels more like an obligation than a choice, it can lead to a quiet, simmering resentment. This creates a chronic, low-grade stress that's incredibly damaging to your health. Solve: the solution isn't to pull away. It's to shift from being a self-sacrificing grandparent to a sustainable one. This means setting healthy boundaries, which isn't selfish, it's necessary. The first step is to take back your calendar. Before you say yes to anyone, schedule your non-negotiable health appointments first. Your daily walk, your checkups, your time with friends. Treat them like the most important meetings of your week. Next, learn the power of the loving no, or the structured yes. Instead of being on call 24/7, set up a clear, predictable schedule. For example, I would love to watch the kids every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, but Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are my days. This changes the dynamic from one of obligation to one of choice. It's also crucial to talk openly with your adult children. Frame it around sustainability. I love being so involved, and to make sure I can keep doing it with all the energy they deserve, I need to protect my time for exercise and rest. This isn't a complaint, it's a partnership. Finally, focus on the quality of your time, not just the quantity. Instead of just being the default babysitter, create special rituals, like a weekly baking day or a project you work on together. These focused activities create stronger memories and deeper bonds. Habit number 5, the brain games. Mirage problem. You hear it everywhere. To keep your mind sharp, you need to exercise your brain. So you do the daily crossword, spend an hour on Sudoku, or use a brain training app. You feel a jolt of accomplishment, confident that you're building a stronger brain. This habit starts from a good place, but relying only on puzzles to keep your mind sharp is like going to the gym and only ever using the bicep curl machine. You're training a very narrow set of skills while letting the rest of your brain's abilities get rusty. It's an illusion of fitness that can leave you vulnerable. Agitate. The problem is that the brain loves complexity and novelty. Doing a crossword puzzle every day just makes you very good at doing crossword puzzles. It's like learning one magic trick. You can perform it perfectly, but that doesn't make you a master magician. Studies show there's very little evidence this benefit transfers to overall brain health or delays dementia. One of the biggest traps is that these games are usually passive and solitary. This misses two of the most powerful ingredients for brain health: social engagement and physical activity. Think about having a conversation. Your brain is doing a million things at once: listening, processing, pulling up memories, reading body language. That is a far more intense workout for your brain than finding a 7-letter word. Plus, spending hours on these games often means you're sitting still, which reduces blood flow to the brain. You could be doing more for your brain's long-term health by taking a brisk walk with a friend. Solve. The solution is to upgrade from simple brain games to what neuroscientists call cognitively engaging lifestyle activities. This just means choosing activities that are rich, complex, and ideally combine different kinds of stimulation. The best brain-boosting activities have at least 2 of these 3 things: complex mental effort, social interaction, and some light physical activity. Let's look at some powerful swaps. Instead of doing a Sudoku puzzle by yourself, join a bridge club. Games like bridge require strategy, memory, and constant social interaction. A full brain workout in a social setting. Instead of a brain training app, try learning a new complex skill that uses both your hands and your mind, like a musical instrument or pottery. This involves hearing, fine motor skills, memory, and emotion all at once. Swap passive learning for active engagement. Instead of just reading about history, join a discussion group where you have to debate ideas. The act of pulling up information and explaining it is a far more powerful brain exercise than just passively taking it in. And never forget that learning a new dance is a phenomenal brain exercise. It combines physical steps, mental memory, and social coordination. Habit number 6, the unstructured freedom diet. Problem: after a lifetime of eating on the clock, retirement brings food freedom. You eat when you're hungry, skip a meal if you want, and graze all day. It feels flexible, free, and easy. But this habit of unstructured eating can be a Trojan horse for bad health. While it feels like freedom, it often leads to mindless eating and poor food choices. It's like filling your car's gas tank with soda. The tank might be full, but the engine can't run on it. You're giving your body calories, but not the high-octane fuel it actually needs to thrive. Agitate. The danger comes from a few places. First, without structure, we grab what's convenient, which is usually processed snacks high in sugar and salt. You can end up overfed but undernourished. This pattern raises the risk for chronic diseases, from heart disease to diabetes. Second, This erratic eating throws your blood sugar on a wild roller coaster. These spikes and crashes leave you feeling tired, cranky, and craving even more junk food. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, a stepping stone to type 2 diabetes. Third, this habit often leads to not getting enough protein. As we get older, our bodies need more protein spread throughout the day just to maintain muscle. Muscle is your body's armor. It gives you strength, mobility, and helps prevent falls. When you just graze on carbs, it's hard to get enough protein. This can speed up age-related muscle loss, a condition called sarcopenia, leaving you weaker and more frail. Solve. The solution is a gentle, flexible routine that gives your body consistent nourishment. Start by anchoring your day with 2 or 3 balanced meals. Think of it as a daily rhythm. These meals should be built around the healthy plate idea. Half your plate is colorful fruits and veggies, a quarter is lean protein, and a quarter is whole grains. Pay special attention to protein. Think of building a wall. You can't just dump all the bricks in one corner. You have to lay them steadily. Your muscles need protein delivered steadily throughout the day. Try to include a good source with every meal. Eggs for breakfast, chicken for lunch, fish for dinner. If you like to snack, plan them. Ditch the chips and swap them for nutrient-dense options like a handful of nuts, an apple with peanut butter, or veggies with hummus. These give you real, lasting energy. Finally, make mealtimes a mindful ritual. So often, unstructured eating becomes mindless eating in front of the TV. Instead, set the table, sit down, pay attention to your food. This simple practice improves digestion and helps your brain register when you're full, which is the easiest way to prevent overeating. Habit number 7. Outsourcing your social life problem. When planning for retirement, many people make a logical move. They move to a retirement community or closer to their kids. They see a clubhouse full of people and assume they've solved the social isolation problem. They've essentially outsourced their social life to their address. This is a subtle and dangerous habit. The assumption is that being physically near people will automatically lead to meaningful friendships. But just like sitting in a library doesn't make you well-read, sitting in a community room doesn't make you socially connected. Agitate. The truth is, you can be incredibly lonely in the most crowded places. Living in a community without making connections is like being at a huge party where you don't talk to anyone. You're surrounded by noise, but you feel completely alone. There is a huge difference between being around people and being with people. The first is proximity. The second is connection. When you passively wait for social interaction, your social life becomes shallow. Quick hellos at the mailbox that lack the depth we need. You can fall into a state of social inertia, where it's just easier to stay home, telling yourself you'll go to the next event tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. This passive approach leaves you wide open to the devastating health consequences of loneliness. The science is terrifyingly clear. Chronic loneliness is linked to a higher risk of early death, high blood pressure, and a weaker immune system. Believing your new address has solved the social problem is a dangerous assumption that can have life or death consequences. Solve. The solution is to become the CEO of your own social life. You have to switch from being a passive bystander to an active creator of your social world. Start by making the first move. The biggest thing that stops us is the fear of rejection. Challenge yourself to start one small conversation each day. The goal isn't to make a best friend, it's to build the muscle of starting a conversation. Next, use shared interests as a bridge. Go to the book club or the art class. But don't just show up, participate. Then take the next step. Say to someone you clicked with, "I really enjoyed our chat. Would you like to get a coffee next week?" This is how you turn an acquaintance into a friend. Look for chances to contribute. Volunteering is one of the best ways to build deep connections. When you work with people toward a common goal, friendships happen naturally. This gives you a built-in sense of purpose and a ready-made social network. Finally, remember to nurture the friendships you already have. Be the one to pick up the phone, send the text, or organize a get-together. Being proactive about your social life is a sign of strength and wisdom. It is the active ingredient that turns a place to live into a real community. We've covered a lot today, and I hope this has been a wake-up call, not something to feel bad about. Just recognizing these hidden habits is the first, most powerful step toward building a healthier retirement. It's all about making small, conscious choices every day. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 habits hit home for you? Is there one you've caught yourself doing? Or maybe you have an 8th habit that you think we should all know about. Please share your stories and thoughts in the comments below. The wisdom of this community is one of our best resources, and your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found this information valuable, if it made you think differently about your own daily routines, please take a second to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're dedicated to providing practical, science-backed strategies to help you not just retire, but to thrive. Conclusion. The move into retirement is one of the biggest transitions of our lives. We leave behind the schedules that shaped our days for decades, and we're handed a blank page. The habits we write on that page will determine the quality of our future. The great secret to a happy and healthy retirement isn't found in a killer exercise routine, a single-minded hobby, or the false freedom of a life without structure. It's found in balance, in purpose, and in being aware of our choices. It's about swapping intensity for consistency. It's about diversifying your passions. It's about finding a rhythm that works for your body. It's about setting boundaries so you can give from a full cup. It's about looking for challenges that truly engage your mind. And most of all, it's about actively building and nurturing the human connections that make life worth living. You have earned these years. You have the power to make them not just golden, but brilliant. It all starts with looking honestly at your daily habits and having the courage to make a change. Thank you for investing this time in yourself today. Now go out and build the retirement you truly deserve.